Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 50 of Competitive Magic with the Carnies. I'm your host from Italy, Andrea Mengucci, and joining me we have Niv from Israel. Welcome,
Hello,
Niv.
thank you for having me.
Eh, I just said your name because your surname is not very easy for me to pronounce it. Do you want to tell the listener your full surname with a perfect pronunciation?
You pronounce it Shmuely. It's kind of hard to pronounce. Yeah,
Shmueli.
that's fine.
Perfect, yeah. Because Anthony made sure that I wouldn't just say your surname without first letting you say it on the podcast. All right, so Anthony and Javier are not joining us because they are very full with the Worlds testing. There is, of course, Worlds very soon, and actually, Anthony might just be leaving for Vegas in the very next few days, so we didn't want to take time of them, but had the opportunity to invite Niv. For those of you who don't know, Niv is I personally know him as a Legacy 4-color master. And he showed some of the mastery last weekend as well at Four Season, where you top-8 the main event with over 400 players. So yeah, welcome Niv, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, and Niv doesn't only just play Legacy. Of course, you play every format. So today we're gonna talk about not only Legacy but also Modern and Pioneer because unlike me, you are actually going to Lille to try and get that Pro Tour invite in the Pioneer
Yep,
format.
I successfully won RCQ here, so just a nice opportunity.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, I also tried to go to some modern RCQ locally. I know there is one store that's running it, so at least I try to be at the next. The next one is Ghent in something like January or
Yeah,
February.
I
So
think
like
so.
it's a while for now. Yeah. But yeah, so let's start talking about these new cards because of course this past weekend was the first one where the Wilds of Eldraine cards were legal in Magic Online. We had the opportunity to play them at Four Season, but they were just legal this past weekend, and the most talked card of the format is an uncommon, I believe, and is Up the Beanstalk, which is now showing up not only in Legacy but also in Modern, and he won the very large Modern Super Qualifier with over 500 and I believe it's something like 530 players. It was, and the deck had 75 cards. Did you see it?
Yeah, I saw it. I saw the guy that, yeah, I think he made a Twitter post also, and he won the mirror by decking his opponent. Like he played Emrakul, so he gained control of his opponent's turn, and then the opponent had to Beanstalk in play. And Beanstalk is not you may, it's you have to draw. So he just decked him because he continued playing big spells.
Yeah, it's crazy. Actually, yeah, that's the Emrakul. The Promised End is back, like in the old Yorion days.
Yeah, but I think that the card is
I
really
was
nice. Like definitely easily added to these four Fury, four Solitude, four Leyline Binding decks. Just
Yeah, I just recently finished writing an article about For Color, and I was looking at this list, and I'd be like, okay, so he's playing for Fury, he's playing for Halfling. Oh wow, what did he cut? And I just kept saying he had more and more cards, and then I figured, okay, so this is more than 60, and then yeah, turns out it was 75 cards, but still 26 lands, which is like so little for a deck with 75 cards.
yeah, I'm not a
It's
land guy, but like I leave that to Frank Karsten, but I think that's a bit too low.
Yeah, although like you have of course four Bran and six, but nonetheless this was a huge achievement. Like, yeah, I believe he went 9-1 in the Swiss, and then 3-0 in the top eight, which is huge. Actually, for viewers at home, me and you faced in one of these like very large PTQ. It was a legacy. It was the legacy PTQ. Where I was playing Mono White Initiative and you were, of course, playing for Collar. We got paired around 9. You were 8-0, I was 7-1, and you were nice enough to scoop me into the top 8. And then in the top, I believe we met in the top 4, and I defeated you there.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
before expressive iteration got banned and a lot of changes.
yeah, that yeah, that was in believe December or January of just like at the beginning of the year. Yeah, I remember we had this crazy game where you kept a land life with just a savannah, and it just flooded terribly and won with like some miracles that I art casted, something
Yeah,
like
I
that.
think once I got to the top four, it was like 3 or 4 a.m. or something like that. So I just didn't care because I was
Yeah,
like, okay, I qualified. I didn't even know what I was qualifying for. I was just like, I don't care
yeah.
anymore. It's fine.
Yeah, it's funny because I think we qualified to the regional championship that happened in like June or something. I got there with like 4 invites or something like that, and then I didn't have an invite for the next one.
Yeah, the new
That's
system
okay.
is
But
very hard to chain invites, I think.
yeah, that's okay, isn't it? But yeah, so these super long PTQs and the Magic Online system is kind of brutal because like 500 people, whatever, 4 invites, doesn't matter. The day before, they had a Legacy PTQ, which had, I believe, 290, like another huge number of that. So still, just for invites, regardless of the amount of players. I don't know. I feel like they could do something different, but people turned up and actually played these anyway. So
I just like playing the like events that matter. It's also nice you get to play against all the big Magic Online names. Um, so it's really fun. Like if I go over the top eight of the Legacy, because I know most of the players that play Legacy. I mean, most of them are just amazing players in general, but also amazing
yeah.
Legacy players. And in the modern event as well, it's also full of great players. So I think this is the main attraction um, to play these events. But they are super hard,
Yeah, the
like playing nine.
yeah, the finalist Andy C. Wilson on Amulet. He's the one that won the Mox Challenge Legacy just few weeks ago. It's kind of an insane back to back run. But yeah, lots of good names. All right, let's talk about a little bit of the decks that actually got there because we saw that four color won, but four color was also in the was there's two four color. I believe there was two four color, two blue red Murktide, two mono black. And I believe at this point, Mono Black is just a driving force of the format. Like today, I streamed it. I believe you were in my chat, so you actually saw the games as well. And it was good. Like, Mono Black is just a very good deck in Modern right now.
Well, the interesting thing is that both mono black decks don't play Besiege. At least I don't see it. So that's the new another new
Yeah.
card from the new set, which is really surprising to me. I think that card is really amazing. So um, kind of surprised that they don't play it. But I think just mono black in general got so many good cards lately, like Battlemaster, Troll. They're just amazing cards. So
Yeah, today on stream I was playing the Mono Black version with two Besiege the Mirror by Doomwake. He went 8 and 2. So not that far away from the top eight. If you play Besiege, I think you have to give up on Knight's Whisper, so you're probably a little bit worse against like Murktide. Probably you do play Talisman of Resilience, which is very nice considering that you have a million four drop. And I wonder if you should just play more talismans in the normal list. Although you don't have any problem in missing land drops, and that's one of the nice thing of this deck is that you have so many like early removal spell and a lot of lands, so you just naturally hit your lands and keep your board clean. That like it's not that you play a million four drop. Like that's the problem sometimes with the four color Omnath deck, right? Is that you have like a lot of four drops and your cheap removal spell are actually like Solitude and Fury, which is like card disadvantage. But that has been fixed with the Up the Beanstalk. So now it's not card disadvantage. You can actually play your Up the Beanstalk, which the third place list does not play, but you can play your Up the Beanstalk and then you just cast Fury Solitude so that you get to turn 4 without actually, having being down
I
cards.
think it's one of the better cards that this four color deck could have ever got printed, like in theory, because it just makes all your elementals not card disadvantage anymore. So the deck trying to grind this deck is almost impossible now. So you have to do something unfair like Tron or Living End or something like this.
Yeah, the four color problems will remain. This is kind of what I also said in my article about four color. I said that the main problems of four color, which are the combo matchups, will remain, but the deck gains in consistency now, so you get better the other matchups. Like I'm pretty sure it's very similar to Legacy, right? Where your 4 color deck that you love in Legacy has bad matchup against, let's say, Upso spells or the artifact deck that goes all in super quickly. But and you kind of accept it because you have such a good matchup against the most popular decks, which are the Blue Black Scam, the Grixis Delver, and things like that.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes. But I think the difference is in Legacy you have really good hate cards against the combo decks. So whereas in Modern, I guess I can play like Besiege and the Charma or something like this or Endurance, but uh, it's still not. I wouldn't want to face the, those decks with a 4 color basically.
Yeah, I think what some of the success for Mono Black it's also because they are so good against 4 color. Like Mono Black, Kabal Coffer is probably very happy to play against this archetype. You also have the Orcish Bowmaster to maybe punish a little bit of the Beanstalk, but overall, I think that yeah, I think that some of the success for this. So I kind of feel like the metagame of, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but like the metagame of Modern and Legacy right now are very similar, right? Like they're in a very similar spot where, yeah, we have the Murktide and the Scam decks. Actually, notably, Scam is not in the top 8 of this very large PT Cube. There's one in the ninth place by BNU. Yeah, basically like Murktide and Scam are taking the the Delver role of Modern, and then 4 color is taking the classic Uro Miracle role, and then you have the combo decks, which again are absent from the top 8, but like the Tron and Living End and Burn. I guess Burn is here of the world.
Yeah, that makes sense. Of course, like in Legacy, you have much more decks because it's much bigger pool. But I think both formats are really healthy and good now. Like I think they're really, really good. Um, I don't know. I know Legacy players love to complain, but I think it's in an amazing spot right now.
Yeah, yeah. Again, we will definitely talking about legacy after, but the so yeah, this the main card is for sure the up the beanstalk, and there is another card that I've played today on stream, which is Agatha Soul Cauldron. I played it today in Yugmoth, which won the challenge by Claudio H. Was playing that list, and Agatha Soul Cauldron was decent. I was able to exile a Grist, making my delighted halfling put tokens. I was able to exile a Yawgmoth, making my winning on the spot because I had 2 undying creature. So, but I also, because you have to look at the other side of the medal, I also had draws where I drew 2 Agatha Soul Cauldron and my opponent just prismatic ended all my creatures. I had draws where, you know, uh, my opponent had like Leyland of the Void, one mono black opponent, and I had Agatha Soul Cauldron. So I feel like there are problems with the card, and I am not so sure that it makes Yugmoth such a like. It's not. I wouldn't say it's like up the beanstalk. Is for 4 color.
Yeah, I think Yawgmoth is, in my opinion, one of the harder decks to play in Modern. Like I can never understand it properly. I never played it, maybe one league, but so whenever there's a new tool, they just want to try it, but maybe it's good, maybe it's not. Um, but yeah, I think it could be interesting. Maybe less copies because it is not great in multiples.
Yeah, it is both a legend and it's yeah, I mean, it's mostly legend, I guess. But yeah, the other deck that plays the Agatha Soul Cauldron is Kim 13th, and it is again 8 and 2, and it's hardest skills. This is a deck that has been around forever, and now with these Agatha Soul Cauldron and and also the Shatter's Fire, so that's like kind of 2 sets in a row gave 2 standard sets in a row that gave new cards to the archetype, which maybe because like what happens in modern often is that decks are like decks that gain a card or two with a new set when everything else doesn't get a card just get a little bit of edge. It might also just be fashion because people just like to play new cards, as you said. But like look at creativity, how it hasn't gained a card in so long, and like kind of nobody's playing it anymore.
I think I won a big tournament in
It's,
the U.S. Creativity. I think I don't remember the name, um, but he always plays Creativity. But yeah, I think
oh yeah,
um,
yeah. There's none in the top 32 of
yeah, I
this
think Hardened
PTQ,
Scales
believe
is
me.
the deck that the people that play it will continue to play it, and they just love it. Doesn't matter if it's tier one, two, three on your weekend tiers. Um, so it's just, I think that's a nice thing about modern, though, right? Like you can just pick up your deck and just add some new cards, and it's still fine. Like this guy top 16 of 500 people event. That's amazing. So he's probably one of the players that always plays Hardened Scales and masters the deck.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm now looking at the 32nd place of this PTQ, and it is a Upsol spells with Balustra Spy and Nano City Informer, and it's now playing Beseech the Mirror because you have Pented Prism and Talisman and Spheres, so you actually just get to cast this Beseech the Mirror, let's say on turn 3, and yeah, you have like now 12 combo cards. The combo in modern is super convoluted if you have never heard of it. So I don't know
I
if you
have,
haven't
but
seen it, but
it's
like you
much
put
more
Narcomoeba,
weirder than Legacy.
yeah, yeah, you put Narcomoeba and then you get three Sword of the Meek onto it. You then put Salvage Titan, and then how do you get a second creature? Oh yeah, because one just came into play, so you get the Vengevines back, and you just attack.
Yeah, and then you just
Uh,
try to kill them with. But now they also play Greaves, I see.
Gripping
So
Chills.
it's more, you have more hate.
Yeah,
But I think Beseech is great. Sounds like a great addition to the deck.
yeah, yeah. I think I found the deck to play tomorrow on stream. Yeah, it's cool. He even has a Charbel plus sideboard for the graveyard hate matchups. All right. Yeah, let's go over Legacy and the Super
Oh, there's also
Qualifier
one more card for Modern, right?
again.
There's Not Dead After All, the new
Oh
scam
yeah,
card.
yeah, for sure. That is the new card. Let's say Benua ninth place again. This is one of the best Magic Online player, and he's playing 4 copies of Not Dead After All and 2 copies of Undying Evil. Honestly, I would, yeah. I mean, I think it is super marginal, but I think you should still split Undying Evil and like one Feign Death or Undying Malice, because the case of having two Undying Evil, I think it's too bad.
Yeah,
Like just the fact that you cannot save your uh, Fury because it already has a +1/+1 counter. But again, this is like so marginal that probably shouldn't matter.
yep. Just a small thing,
And
nothing big.
yeah, that's for sure. But yeah, so this is more of a normal list in 10th place by Doom Switch, the very good Portuguese player, and this is what the list that I basically took to make my article because it's very similar to what I like. I like to play Alpine Moon over Obsidian Charmo in the Cyber though. I feel like Alpine Moon blowing up Saga for 1 mana or just also being able to name Valakut. It's slightly better because you don't have like Adam Recall anyway, so you just have to draw the Charmo and I don't know. I think it's like super marginal. Maybe Charmo is better against Tron, but
Yeah, I think it is better
this
against
is like
Tron, but probably close.
this is the only, I guess, disagreement I have with this list, but I think it's a very solid list. And I am calling for 60 cards to be honest. Like, you know, yeah, this is still this would still be the way I build the deck. All right, yeah, let's move into Legacy, where another crazy pile won the tournament. They finished first in Swiss, going I believe 9-0, and then went 3-0 in the top 8 as well. This is Kiara Works, which is a Japanese pro, and he got there with Yorion. So, oh wait, there's no
No,
Yorion.
no.
It's just 60
Yeah,
cards.
the good old 60
It's
card.
just 60 cards. Yeah, but yeah, you got it all. This deck is it has it all. Like it honestly just this deck is it all. It's like 5 color Greensons in it. You have the Lighted Halfling, Orcish Bowmaster. You have your you don't have up the Beanstalk, so he did not go their route, but he's playing with Slogwork, the Overslime. This is a card that I actually had to read. Did you know what this does?
Yeah, I know it only because of this player. I think he loved this card. He always plays it.
Okay, throw out a 3/3 trample. Whenever a land card is put into your graveyard from anywhere, so like a fetch land, you put a +1/+1 on it. Remove 3 +1/+1 on it, return it to its owner's hand, so it dodges removal. And then it says whenever it leaves the battlefield, you return up to 3 target lands from your graveyard to your hand. So it's like a life from the loam. Yeah, but you can search for it with Zenith.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this
Crazy.
card is it's his like a pet card. It's a classic legacy thing where people have their pet cards. I would never play this card.
Mhm. And notably, in the cyber, there's no copies of Carpet of Flower, a card that, if I think about four color and why it's great against Elber or blue black, is because of Carpet of Flower. Like, I believe you were playing, what, three
Yeah,
copies
I
in
have
your
three, and I don't
first
think I would
season?
play less.
Me neither, if I had to play four color, yeah. So, yeah, again, like, this is just. The second deck is much more normal, right? The second player is Mapson 125. He's also host of one of the legacy podcasts I listen to, and he dropped his green white depths, his beloved green white depths to pick up Boris Initiative.
Yeah, this deck has got a huge boost from Fourth Ear Lingus. That card is just amazing. Um, so I believe this deck is, and it's also really good against the four color control decks. So that's a thing.
Yeah, this deck is very good in the metagame, and now basically you have a 3 mana. Because, like, with the ban of White Plume Adventure, this deck lacked a 3 mana turn 1 play that gained you an incremental advantage to win the game by itself. And Fortier Lingus is basically that. Because if I'm on the play and I have a hand of 3 mana on turn 1, granted, it needs to be red and white, so you can't just go like Ancient Tomb, Chrome Mox, White Plume Adventure, like we used to. So you have to go like, you know, Chromox, Sinner Spirit Guide, Land, Fourth Lingas. But if you do connect there, you get the Monarchy on turn 1 on the play, which is really hard for a normal deck to get back. So you're gonna start slow rolling the value. And then of course it's also like a late game fireball. You pitch it to Chromox, it gives you 2 colors of mana. It, yeah, as you said, like it boosts a lot the archetype, which is now, I guess, less about Cavern of Souls now, since you don't have I mean, I guess you do have still 8 of your most important creatures are humans, but you also have like Archon, Solitude, and Fable, so
I am surprised that he
it's
doesn't
less.
play Blood Moon though. That's one card I'm super surprised he doesn't have at all.
Well, you have Magus of the Moon, right?
Yeah, that's like
Similar, and
only
maybe it's
three
easier
in
to
the
cast.
sideboard, but I could see why.
Mm.
Um, I don't know. I would probably. I think this is a metagame call because Blood Moon is really good in a lot of matchups, but it's really bad in a lot of matchups. So it, it's really a metagame call.
Like if we look at Sebastian Pozzo Lens deck, I believe that he's playing, of course, Boseiju Endures, but he also has Forcers to Plowshare. So he has both answers to Magus and to Blood Moon, I guess, in the main deck. But yeah, as I said, in Legacy, you kind of do it all, right? You have all these Lens deck, you have these four color deck. Of course, we have Macwin Sauce playing with Up the Beanstalk. So this list is like a mix between yours, because I believe you were eye on the One Ring, and Claudio is eye on Beanstalk, and Macwin Sauce just plays both
Oh,
of them.
Yorion lets you do that, right? Just play 80 cards.
Oh, right, right,
I
right,
have to
right.
say
Yeah,
though,
with
I'm not a
Yorian.
fan of Yorion decks. I know McWinsoft likes them, and Anzi Anurag likes them, but I can never understand Yorion.
Yeah, maybe we can also talk about your four color list while we're talking about it. So yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, I'm now putting up his list, Niv's list, and a paper picture, not just a deck list. Yeah, I remember birding a match of yours and actually took a picture of it. You have a Nissa Resurgent Animist with just a single target for it. Is that right? Yeah.
In
So
the
you
team
yeah
event,
you
I
were
had an
yeah you
endurance in
went
my sideboard, but I cut it, so Omnath is just the only target.
yeah. So you had Nissa. You've played a fetch land. You got Omnath, and yeah, that is. Do you think you would you do it again? Would you play again Nissa and Omnath over the One Ring, for example, the fourth copy?
I think so. Like wondering the way I saw that Nissa and Omnath. First of all, Omnath the gain life was really really crucial in a lot of matchups, like against the blue black decks, Delver, and then Nissa plus Omnath gives you so much mana, and One Ring draws you so many cards, so your hand is stacked with like Lorien Reveal, Ponders, Brainstorms, whatever, and then you just on one turn you explode. So you get so much mana from these two cards, and I think it's great. And of course, it's with fourth year Lingus, it's amazing because you can. I think I played it for like 12 one turn or 13 even. I don't know.
Mm.
So I would definitely play it
Yeah.
again. I haven't played the Beanstalk. My issue with Beanstalk in I would say Legacy more than Modern is that Bowmaster is everywhere in Legacy. I think in Modern it's a bit less popular, but Bowmaster in Legacy is everywhere. Like you have the Elf deck, the Cradle deck now playing it. You have even the top eight that we see, the new Thespian Stage Dark Depths deck plays it. The Black Green Depths plays four of them. So Bowmaster just you're gonna play against. I think I played it in my 13 rounds of the four seasons because I also played four rounds of teams, maybe like at least 10. So I think it's just really bad against Bowmaster. That's my only issue with Beanstalk.
Did you play the modern main event at fourth season also?
No, no, I did commentary on the ELM.
Oh, right. Yeah, we had the ELM that day. Yeah. Yeah, I also went like full legacy for the first 2 days, and then on Sunday I played. I mean, I guess I also played a main event in legacy, but and then I played a modern side event. It was a lot of legacy, and I was playing the blue black deck, but it did not go well for me. I got defeated. Blue black did not. I think there's zero blue black in the top eight.
In the four,
Yeah.
no, I don't know if he played blue black or
No. Yeah, at fourth season there was one in the ELM and one in the main event, but in the PTQ, the 290 players of the PTQ, there's zero. There's one in the ninth place, Connor. I know him as a friend of mine from Australia. He actually has the same Leaston cyborg that I wrote for Channel Fireball. I believe. He must have used that cyber guide, so it was helpful to win. I guess a lot of treasure chests, at least, although unfortunately out on breakers. But yeah, I think the deck is good, but the metagame is definitely very hostile to it right now with so many for color. Even in this top eight, there's just a lot of these, and yeah, there's also the oh wow, the eighth place artifact combo doesn't have the Urza's workshop. It has Crystal Vein instead. Huh, interesting.
yeah. Also, I don't know. That deck is also hated out a bit, I think. But I think if it's another Ancient Tomb combo deck. You have so many of those. I still think Ancient Tomb
Mm-hmm.
is the best card in Legacy. So okay.
Yeah, yeah. Ancient Tomb. I remember saying this a while ago when I was very high on 8cast. This was over 1 year ago that I was just so high on Ancient Tomb. Like, this land is crazy.
Acast, by the way, is
Just
another deck that I think just I would never play it right now. Like you're playing all these draw cards against Bowmasters. It just feels really bad.
yeah, 8cast. I would say it did not hold very well in these years
I mean,
of.
it got 10th
I mean, I guess
in the qualifier.
you got 10th. Nice. All right. Then I guess we have at least two to take. There's Patchwork Automaton. This is the the new creature that survives the Bowmaster. I mean, it kind of survives. You need 4 mana, which is basically infinite in Legacy. But outside of that, it's kind of like the same. The same. Wow, only two Chalice of the Void. Yeah,
I think they're
yeah.
going more
The
aggressive. I played against Acast in the Four Seasons, and they went like sure they go more aggressive. I just think Bowmaster being everywhere, playing these thoughtcast bubbles and whatever, it just feels so bad. That's my opinion. But people still play it.
in
So.
the 12th place, we see a Beseech the Mirror deck. We haven't seen one in Legacy yet. And this deck won the ELM, not this deck, but this card won the ELM in Mono Black Helm. There was no Mono Black Helm here until now, but we see it in a Storm deck. So Javier has mentioned it a couple of times, but Beseech the Mirror combos in Legacy with Gaia's Will. The Gaia's Will is the MH2 cycle of suspend cards that is basically Yawgmoth's Will. So you go Beseech the Mirror and you cast Gaia's Will, and you can play your graveyard, get your Dark Rituals, and eventually just, maybe even replay Beseech the Mirror, get Tensions of Agony, win the game.
This list is also interesting that it actually has a little mid-range plan. It has 4 Dothy, 4 Grief, 4 Browmaster, 4 Troll in the main deck. So it's like
And
yeah,
reanimate.
and reanimate. So it's like a mid-range black deck with a combo back end kind of thing with Besiege. But that's Besiege. I think it's just a great, great card.
Yeah, there's one card in the Great Creator, and then you have this like artifact package because with 4 Besiege the Mirror, it's like you're playing more copies of Karn. Yeah, wow, I did not notice how deep is this deck. This is not just Storm. This is just, yeah. Yeah, I kind of want to play this tomorrow. I'll play the two combo decks tomorrow, the Belcher and this one.
Yeah, I like that. I like this idea. I think in Legacy in general, if you like, you don't have a main plan. You have like these two different kind of plans. It's always good because there's so many good cards against a main plan. So having two sides of the coin is really nice in this deck.
That's for sure. Um, yeah, this is the first Dabber of Secrets we see. There is also a new hot deck. I don't know if you have seen the new hotness in Legacy. It is to put up the beanstalk in Timur. There's no Delver, but you have Murktide Regent, Hooting Mandrills, and of course Force of Will. And this is how you do it. It's 19 lands with 4 Wasteland. You have DRC. So instead of playing Tarmogo, if you play Up the Beanstalk, and then you play all the Del cards, and I've seen a couple of people posting 5 trophies, and this is another deck on my bucket list for content.
Yeah, I think I believe the person that started all this was Marco Montani, the
Yeah,
really amazing Legacy player from Italy.
the Player of the Year,
Yeah,
the Legacy Player
true.
of the
Also
Year,
that. So yeah, he played.
Italian.
I think Murktide, Hooting Mandrills, and yeah, just Rug Beanstalk with this like DRC. I think DRC is just a great card also. So there's no fault in just playing it without Delver. I think that's great. Also, Beanstalk with Date is kind of nice because you play Beanstalk, you
Mhm.
counter their card, and you continue playing. So it's really nice.
Yeah, I love that Magic is just new cards like this come up, and it's kind of like everyone's trying up the beanstalk right now. And what else? What else do we got? Do we got yeah, the maybe we want to talk a little bit more about Pioneer because we haven't talked about Pioneer too much on the podcast lately because I'm not that much into it, and I guess Javier and Anthony are not focusing on for the regional championship. But if you're listening to this podcast, you probably are a competitive player and are competing at the upcoming regional championship. We have a couple of challenges only to discuss with the new cards, but in both of them, Phoenix did very well. And Phoenix is most likely the deck that gained the most from the new set because it got the Sleight of Hand. 1 mana blue cantrip. It used to be played in Modern when Faithless Looting was around. Javier top 8 the PT in London with Sleight of Hand over Serum Visions, I believe, or Op. One of the main cantrip that people used to be playing at the time. He thought the Sleight of Hand was better. And yeah, now you have access to it in Pioneer, so probably this is the coming back for Phoenix.
Yeah, I think Phoenix got the best from the new set. Sleight of Hand is huge. They have 12 1-mana cantrips now, so it's much more smooth and much more, I would say, even fast, even more aggressive than before, which is really good for the deck. Other decks that we can see also in the top 8 Pioneer is Jabberwocky. He top 8 with his trusty Rakdos Sacrifice. He has 2 new cards actually, in Questing Druid and Gummed Up Poisoner.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Let's see. Gumdrop Poisoner. Oh yeah, I had this in the draft. This is on the instant adventure. You create a food, and on the main side, it's a 3/2 lifelink for 3 that when it comes into play, it gives -3/-3 equal to the life you gained. So in this case, what you do is you gain life sacrificing a food either from the oven or from its adventure, and you just take down a creature for 3 mana. You can also gain life with Cadro Familiar, so sometimes it just bring back a cat, gain 1 life, play this, deal make -1/-1. I think it's just trying new cards, which is obviously a great thing. And
The
yeah,
Druid does ruin,
I
well,
like
not
that.
ruin, but interferes, I say, with the mana bit, because you have to play, I believe he's playing 2 copies. You have the red-green pathway, so that's a
Mm.
little bit of a sacrifice, I would say. Um,
Yeah, you do play treasures
yeah,
there,
yeah.
right?
You have treasures from Fable if you get to do that, and Deadly Dispute. So, but I think it's a small sacrifice if the Druid is good. I think he just wanted to try because there's like 1 copy of each, so he just tried that.
Yeah.
And then
So you also have Giganta to fix your mana.
there's also Blue White that got the new instant speed divination. I see VFS, a really known Blue White player in all formats. I think really just has 2 quick study, which is a new instant speed divination, just a nice upgrade. And
He's VFS is playing 4 Brutal Qatar in the sideboard. Is that the normal thing
his
for
lists are always
this deck, or you
really,
just
really different. Like also 4 Spell Pierce main deck, that's nothing I've seen. But he always plays his own 100% list, so um, he's like a
keeps them
yeah. Every
guessing?
time I play against him, he plays a very different kind of blue white, but he always plays blue white, and he does really well with it. So there's that.
Yeah, this list is quick study is the divination instant speed. So apparently, yeah, you just he only has 2 memory deluge. Maybe
Oh, another
it's
actually card that's really interesting and good is fourth place in the heroic deck. There's Monster's Rage. So it's +2/+0, and then
okay.
you create a monster roll or attach a monster roll to that creature, which is a +1/+1 trample. So if you combine that with like all the heroic cards, prowess, or you have the double strike virtuoso card. I played against a player that had this guy also had Dreadhorde Arcanist, so you can cast it twice. So that's a nice upgrade to heroic for sure. It's just the trample is really big.
Yeah, the Monster's Rage is extremely good in draft. I can tell you that, Ellie. What about draft? Have you done any draft? Are you following a little bit of
Yeah,
that, or
I
just
haven't done
focus on
yet.
the constructed formats?
We have a weekly draft here with friends, which are, I would say, good quality of players. So I haven't got to go yet because, well, this weekend I was on vacation and probably go next weekend then. But I've been watching LSV's drafts. I'm a big fan of his channel. Uh, and I think the format looks really nice,
Same.
really really nice.
Yeah, I've been playing some draft last week, and then this weekend I was in Berlin, and I was just in the that time, when I was walking, I would always watch LSV YouTube
Yeah,
channel. He now I think uploads daily on his YouTube
yeah,
channel, weekly on Channel Fireball. So there's just a flood of LSV draft. Yeah, you can probably
yeah.
just if you like limited content,
Especially if you
you can
like
always.
Cube.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's also very high on Q right now.
Yeah, I think I like all
Eh,
my flights. I downloaded some YouTube and watched.
what about you? What do you like in Pioneer? If you want to tell, like, do you have a preferred choice for Lil at the
Yeah,
moment?
I mean, I don't mind saying because it's not like a secret deck or anything. I'm actually testing with a big group. I can say a lot of really amazing players like Arne Huschenberg and Remy Fortier, also Pro Tour champion. Canister is there, Lapsalon. I don't know his real name, but that's the Polish guy that I believe top
Yeah,
eight in Naples.
yeah,
Louis Del
yeah.
Tour. So a lot of Ben Jones is also there, which he's insane. So a lot of really good um, new and older players, I would say. Lucas Honey's also there. So what I've been seeing and I'm testing as much as I can say is that I think the most important thing in Pioneer is just to know your deck well, more than just picking up the best deck, because there's so many decks. It's kind of wild how many viable decks there are. For me, right now, I really like the Creativity deck, the Torrential Gearhart Magma Opus deck that I think, yeah, Martin Juza did well. I also talked with Martin a bit. Uh, Really nice guy. I gotta give him a shout out that he's amazingly nice. Um, and I just like it that it has a game plan against most decks because you're just playing removal spells, counter spells, and then like your Hulk Magma Opus, you have this over the top card, and of course you play the best card in the format, Fable. So that's so I think you just need to find a deck that you are good with, and it's decent. I would probably play have a good deck that can beat Phoenix and Mono Green. I believe those two will be really really popular, and the Rakdos decks as well. Probably the top three decks are going to be Phoenix Mono Green and Rakdos Sac or mid range variants. Um, I think this practice makes perfect in this format, and a bit of luck doesn't can help always.
Yeah, that can never hurt. Yeah, I mean the variety is definitely everywhere in Magic right now. Modern Legacy, Pioneer. You just there isn't a. I mean, even like the most popular deck is probably gonna be what, like 15% or
Probably,
something.
yeah.
And it used to be yeah, it used to be Rakdos mid range, but I highly doubt it's gonna be the most popular deck anymore. Even if people like it, it's still like just at this point. I believe maybe in Athens that it was the wrong choice. It's my choice, and a lot of people played it, and only few of them did well with it, and it was the most popular deck.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm yeah.
The issue with Rakdos is like, if in my opinion, is like you build it in a way to beat one deck, and then you can totally lose to the other deck. So it's a guessing game.
And you can also lose to that deck
Yeah, because like
because
I don't know, you
it's
draw
not
Fatal
that
Push
you get
against
an
the
amazing
control
matchup
deck
against
and
and
not Thoughtseize, and it's still a Fable deck. So Fable
yeah.
decks are always great. Um, there's also actually up the Beanstalk in Pioneer. I can see in the
Mm.
challenge 14th place, the Omnath deck plays and is playing it. So just another card that's from the new set. I did play in leagues against Beseech, random Beseech decks. So I think the new set is really nice. I've been really liking it. How it in just in every format. I don't know standard. I don't play standard.
Yeah, I've been seeing some of my the teammates that are practicing for Worlds of the Worldly Council. They're practicing a lot of standard because, of course, there is the Worlds formats are going to be standard and draft and yeah, paper standard and draft. I believe I haven't announced it yet, but or maybe I did on the podcast last week. I don't remember. But I'll be doing once again the live show commentary, but it's mostly just a show for the people there at the MagicCon in Vegas. It's gonna be me, Luis Cook Vargas, and Riley Knight. Riley's the host, and me and Luis are guests of the show. We will be watching the top four of Worlds and kind of like uh, commentate, but mostly it's just. It's not just gonna be like a play-to-play commentary, like if we were on stream. It's gonna be like interactive with viewers that are actually like sitting in front of us, throwing collector booster around for those who root for the most, just like we did in Barcelona. It was very much a show for the people that are actually in the area, and I guess Wizards liked it in Barcelona what me, Toffel, and Filipa did, and wanted to do it again for Vegas. So yeah, I'll be following some standard for sure as and hopefully I'll see some of my teammates doing well. I have Pivo, of course, you know him as well. Competing, we have Zen, we have Kalk, and
I'm definitely gonna root for all three of those, so
a
that's
lot
good.
more.
Good
Yeah,
friends.
yeah, of course. There's also Anthony and Javier. They're part of Team Handshake, the guys that did so well at the last every last Pro Tour. So it's gonna be, of course, a very high level event. It's gonna be standard, so there's not that. I believe that there's a lot of players that play standard. Of course, is the most played deck on Arena. Personally, I would be happier if it was modern, but it's another story.
Yeah, I think standard in a high level event is interesting because it's probably the format that's the least explored because nobody play. I mean, challenges are so small and random, so people just play because it's value. So nobody actually went and did hard testing for standards. I think we can see some really cool and interesting decks for sure.
Yeah, in standard right now, the hot new deck of standard is this Beaumont Courier came second with a deck that goes Invasion of Alara, which is like the Cascade card, and the whole deck, it's a 5 drop. The whole deck costs more than 5, and they cascade into the Bramble Familiar, I believe is the name, which is a adventure side Bramble Familiar. It's an adventure card, and what you do is you play the adventure of it on the stack. It's basically like a Charlotte's Agent thing, and then for 7, it's a 7 drop. Then you mill 7 cards and you put a creature, enchantment, or land into play. So it's like, yeah, it's super wild, and maybe it's viable.
Is
I
it
don't
just
know.
another way to cheat attracts into play?
Yeah, there's a trackside tally and a bunch of other things. Yeah, no, it's cool. But again, I'm sure there's gonna be a lot more that will appear in Vegas because again, standard doesn't rotate. I don't know if you knew this, but the Midnight Innistrad cards did not rotate, so you still have I don't know. I see here Bloodthirsty Adversary, and I guess
Yeah, you can play
what
aggressive decks for sure. Daniel Arcos is
so
a
that is
really well-known player too.
yeah yeah magical line granders. I mean this challenge is in and so that's it's gonna be fun because at the end of the day, one of the fun part of Magic is also just like quote unquote breaking a new format for a particular weekend, like coming up with something new that people are not expecting that is actually the best thing for that week, which might just be terrible the next week. And standard very often is like that. Like Anthony and Javier have said that a lot. How like standard continuously rotate basically, but that kind of is happening right now in other formats too. Like we see it with modern. How like four color is terrible one weekend and decent the next weekend, and in Pioneer it's a very meta game. Swingy format like how mono green maybe he just didn't appear at all in this weekend challenges in the top 32 and stuff like that. So like Magic very much now I think it's just that means that they're doing a good
Yeah,
job. Like
I think the formats are great. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Pioneer, but I think it's okay. But Modern and Legacy are amazing right now. And I think those formats are really hard to balance because there's so many good cards. And if you print one card that enables all these good cards together, it can be a chaos. But they're doing, right now, they're amazing, really fun to play and watch.
Yeah,
And you have aggro,
I,
control,
I, I
combo,
listened to
all the colors are balanced. So I really like all those formats.
I listened to Canister's video he made because Canister was part of the people that designed or helped design, sorry, helped designing the Lord of the Rings set, and he said that they made the set during like January of the year before, and Lurus was still legal. So they basically just like made cards that were going to be legal so long after, and somehow the format it's fine and everything. And this is such a hard task, honestly, like such a hard task. It's like you're then like designing cards, thinking of how it could. Yeah, it's crazy. It really is a super difficult job, and you know who are we to always complain about the new
Yeah, I
cards?
remember when I believe One Ring and Baumaster were printed. Everybody went wild about One Ring being way too broken for Legacy and Modern, and Baumaster should get banned in Legacy. And I think we're
Yeah,
it's okay.
yeah. I was also calling for the Bowma. I was pretty sure they would have banned Bowmaster, but after seeing how Blue Black Scam and Delver got crushed so hard in these past weeks, I'm fine. Like I think they're not gonna ban Bowmaster anymore. I doubt it. Like the metagame can easily
Yeah, I think,
adapt.
for example, I can say as a control to end Legacy, you just need to play it in a way with Ballmaster in your mind. So like you don't just jam your ponder brainstorm anymore. You have to actually think, which is actually a good thing to have, right? It's great. It makes the game more interesting in that way. Like sometimes I played brainstorm into Ballmaster because I had to, and it was fine. Like, and so you have to take that consideration. Can you lightning bolt yourself and so on. So I think it's an interesting card to have.
Yeah, remember I was watching a game of yours the first season against Death Shadow, and he actually had your opponent had Bowmaster in play, and you just still went brainstorm end of turn, phoned the Terminus, put it on top of you, took 3 damage, phoned the Terminus, put it on top of your deck, won that game with Terminus off of that
Yeah,
brainstorm. If you just had taken your draw step, not draw Terminus, you might have lost that game. So sometimes you have to play that brainstorm into Bowmaster if that's you're looking for those outs. Um, but overall, like also with Ponder, you said like sometimes you just have like extra mana, a Ponder, you just cast it, right? Whereas maybe it wasn't even right. People were just doing it because you had an abundance of cantrip. Whereas now you're kind of like maybe you have to time them out better, and you can also sideboard them out sometimes. Like it's not a crime,
yeah.
right?
I think it's great. Like I really enjoy the card in the format. Also, making black good is nice again because black was really bad in a long time. It was always blue red Delver decks. It was always um, these kind like it was always blue red, right? With expressive
Green.
iteration that got banned. So now black being the tempo deck is really nice and also just good for combo. Good for I just think it's a great card to have.
Yeah, definitely. They banned Arcanist, Ragavan, Iteration. So Red was always at the top, and now it's definitely not. Like now, Blue Red is gone. Or rather, it's there maybe. Grixis Delver, or you see that rug with up the beanstalk, but you're not fear behind anymore. Every time you see
I
Volcanic
did play
Island.
against blue red Delver in the fourth season, but I think it was just it felt like he was a bit 2 weeks ago deck. So I don't know.
Yeah, sometimes players don't want to buy 500. I don't know. I don't know how much is Underground Sea if it's more than 500.
Yeah, I can
I believe
understand
it's
that.
around
Sure,
that.
it's really
So
expensive. But
yeah, yeah. I see. I see. You have a real nice deck with all old border whenever possible, like
yeah, I
Ponder
try. Don't
and
have dual lands; those are
like
expensive. But
yeah,
I, I do have some
it's
unlimited dual
yeah,
lands, so
dual
okay.
lands. Yeah, you have a Savannah,
Yeah, and I
right?
also have Plateau and Taiga, so if I
Yeah.
ever get to play those again.
Yeah, yeah, because you don't have actually
Yeah,
Taiga. Or I was playing with Claudio. At least he had
yeah, I
Taiga.
think he has more leyline binding, so it makes sense that you want Taiga. And also, I actually have only
Mhm.
like two red cards. I think he also had Minsk and Booze, and so I don't really need Taiga that much. This deck is mainly like my list is mainly blue white. If you look at it, it's almost entirely blue white with Uro being the main green card.
Yeah, double green. So you need to play four green sources, and you have yeah, three Lawrence reveal as well.
Yeah, that card is huge. I love that card.
I'm a big fan as well. All right, Niv. Do you have anything else to say to your viewers, or sorry, to your viewers, to the listeners? I remember you wrote a article, a report for the website about this deck, the TAC team.
Yeah, I have a Patreon team with well-known players as well, like Claudio, Ben Jones, David Inglis, and a lot of good players. So you can check it out. I wrote there. They write Pioneer mainly,
Yeah,
but
TAC team. Yeah, yeah, and that's definitely. Yeah, you write cyber guide on four colors. If you're interested in that type of content, check Niv out. Of course, we're gonna put it in the show notes or in the description of this video so that you will not miss that type of content. But overall, yeah, thank you for being here, and we'll see. I'll see you in Prague. Are you coming to the Eternal
I'll
Legion?
really try to make it. I think I will. Maybe only probably for the legacy. I don't think I'll be able to get a vintage deck. So
Yeah, that does sound a hard task. But I'll be there both days. Legacy, if you want to be there, remember to get your ticket because it was sold out last time. But I believe they are releasing slots at some time. So yeah, make sure to follow because don't book like flight hotel and then just there's no more space. Because yeah, I believe last time I checked it was sold out, but then I read that they reopened like 50 more slots. So I don't know.
okay, I'll definitely check it out.
It again. Thank you everyone for listening to us. Next week we won't be there. We won't be here because I also gonna leave for Vegas this Saturday. So the whole carnies are gonna be out next week, but we'll be back the week after, hopefully with a world champion. Who knows? Thank you all for listening and have a great week.